Welcome everybody. This is the presentation that was supposed to go ahead yesterday afternoon. It's called the GCC App and why it is not Gateway. Before we dive in, I just wanted to show you on the right hand side there, you can see that we've got a whole new look with a whole stack of new different functionality. We've added a number of different tiles, taken away some and changed it up so that parents can get a whole lot more out of this app. 900. Currently we have 900 people have downloaded the GCC app. They've either used it on iPhone, Android or iPad, iOS, which I think is pretty good, 900. It is possible that some parents maybe have put it on more than one device, but 900 is an excellent spot to be at by now. It is still young, we haven't had it out for too long, so very cool. All right, so the point of this presentation that should be quite short is the fact that GCC app is not Gateway, okay? It's really important that we have a shared understanding so that our parent body doesn't become confused. So as we sort of dive into this whole world of Gateway, GCC app and telling parents to look at things or sharing things with parents or students, it can get pretty confusing. It can get very confusing for parents because sometimes meanings are sort of mixed up a little bit. So the purpose of this presentation is just to clarify a couple of things so that it becomes easy for you to talk about these things with the parents. So first of all, this is a bit of an overview. So if the GCC app isn't Gateway, what is it? You can see that little diagram there. We've got the GCC app sitting off to the right and it pulls data from Gateway. Okay, so it purely talks to Gateway. And down the bottom, we've got Synergetic, and Gateway pulls the data from Synergetic, okay? So Gateway is sort of the central piece in the puzzle, but it is not the same thing as the GCC app. So as I've written there, standalone app developed for iOS and Android, draws various pieces of data from Gateway, but it does remain separate. All right, so here's a bit of a breakdown as to what's here. And in that, I'm gonna sort of try and highlight some of the differences between Gateway and the app. The first one is the very top left icon called My Gateway. Now, that is actually a direct link into Gateway. Okay, so you need to kind of think of this as a bit of a portal. Within this app, there is a browser as part of it, just like Chrome or Safari. It contains its own browser. When you click on the My Gateway button, it opens the Gateway website within the browser that is contained within the app. Okay, so you're sort of viewing Gateway through the app, just like you would any regular browser. There's a few of these different pages that are on this front screen that do that, such as Docs and Forms, so the one below it. Docs and Forms opens the Docs and Forms page of Gateway within the browser. And the beauty of this is the reason we put Gateway and Docs and Forms and any of the other ones that open within the browser, within the app. The purpose of that is that it pre-logs them in. Just by logging into the app, they don't need to re-enter their details again. It all is pre-logged in, so there's no confusion, no worrying about navigating elsewhere. Below that, we've got the My Details button. And if you've got a keen eye, you'll notice that that is actually the Synergetic logo. So just like the two above, this one opens the browser again, and it loads the community portal within Synergetic. And it also is pre-logged in. So that allows parents to check the details, to update their details if they move or change phone numbers, etc. They can check finances and see where they are at with all of those things, okay? So far, I've shown you 3 icons that all open the browser within the app, which means that you're actually navigating away from the app. It's not an internal function of the app, it's literally a browser that loads it up inside, okay? The next one below is the Call Us. Call the school, it pre-fills the phone dialer with the school phone number. Speaking to somebody is literally 2 taps away. So if I wanted to call the school, I would just tap Call Us and then I would tap Ring, okay? And I would then be on the phone to us. Very simple. Let's go to the middle column at the very top, we've got My Students. So inside the My Students, this one's important because it's not the same as the other 3. Okay, the My Gateway, Docs and Forms and My Details. This one is still within the app, okay? We've not exited the app via the browser at all, and it's going to load up academic reports, due work, classes, and timetable. All that information is taken from Gateway, okay, and it's pulled into the GCC app. Really important distinction there. And if they go into those things, they'll be able to look at the academic reports that have been pulled in from Gateway, which has already pulled them in from Synergetic. The My Group section, so this one loads up within the browser, within the app, and it loads up all the groups that a parent is connected to, or if you're a staff member and you've got this app installed, it's going to pull up your groups that you as a staff member are attached to. That data is pulled from Gateway, but it is loading it in the browser. Okay, so 2 steps there. It loads, it says what groups you're in, it lists them, and then as soon as you tap on one of those items, it takes you to the browser and pre-logs you in and takes you into the correct page. All right, notifications. This is the probably the biggest change from the last version of this app. The notifications is all in one place now. So prior to this, we had a couple of different icons that were a little bit confusing for people. So we've just put it all into one, and literally everything that is a notification, some kind of news item from within Gateway will be pulled into here, okay? So anything you are related to, whether it be a group news item or whether it just be a general news item, it's all going to go there. The next one we've got underneath that is policies. Sorry, I haven't put an arrow to that one, but it's essentially the same as the docs and forms. It takes you into the browser and loads up policies. The absentees at the bottom, in the middle, absentees is basically just a web form from within the app. Okay, so the app has it as part of it, and it submits it, and it's totally separate to everything. Okay, so that sends an email off to our administration people, and they will take care of absentees. All right, so the next one we've got is calendar. So the personalized calendar is pulled in from Gateway. Remember that everybody's calendar within Gateway will be slightly different depending on what associations you have. So if you're a parent of a student in grade 2 and grade 3, like I am at the moment, I will see any of the grade 2 or 3 items that have been assigned from the group that I'm attached to in that calendar. Okay, so just remember that it is customized. FAQs, I'm sorry I haven't put an arrow to that one as well. It's the same as policies and docs and forms. Loads the browser, logs you in, and then takes you to that page. The next one we have is the links down the bottom right. And the links one is one that we can modify and change. And it is doesn't take you into Gateway at all. The links button is literally the links that we have set in the back end of this app. And we can modify that. So if there is something that across the college is important for all parents to have, we can modify the links that are in there. Okay, so if you do have a question about that and you want to put something in there that you feel is critical and couldn't just be a news item, by all means come and talk to us and we'll have a discussion about that. And the last one that we've got is the settings button. And I'll show you more about this one in a moment. The settings button, it just allows you to customize notifications and the app settings as well. Okay, so all right, so here is the settings screen. So once you've tapped on that little cog, it takes you to this screen here: account settings, notification settings, app feedback, about Digistorm, the creators of this app, privacy policy, fingerprint login if you have that facility on your phone, and reset app logs you out of everything so that you can log in again with a different account. All right, so if you tap notification settings, it's going to take you again within the browser directly to the notification setting page of the app. And you might have parents that say, sorry, I'm not receiving things, or I haven't seen this, why can't I see this? This is where you need to direct them. You tell them to click on the cog, click onto notification settings, and then within there, the most important one is the receive news messages when somebody posts news. And you want to make sure that they've got that little phone icon colored green, and the bell is literally the notifications as well. Both of those are important. So the phone is the one that sends the direct message. It's sort of the push notification to the phone, and then the bell is the one that has the number next to the notifications button on the main page. Like I said, if a parent's struggling, they're not seeing things when they think they should, or when you've told them it should be there, that's what they need to check. All right, so what to say to parents about the app and Gateway, whole school. If you're speaking about the news item that you've shared, you want to make sure, this is like I was just saying, check the notifications button in the GCC app and you should find it there. Okay, you can literally say that to them and that should point them in the right direction. Please note, some people may have been looking at the stats of who's looking at their news items. Those stats do not include people reading it on the GCC app, which is where we want people to be reading it. Okay, so your stats will not be 100% accurate on who's reading your items if they are looking on the GCC app. So please keep that in mind. You might think nobody's reading it, but it is pushing it out there. And the reason for that is that the stats are solely Gateway related. Remember, this is pulling that data from Gateway into the app, and they're looking at it on the app. So it is a different thing. Secondary, if you're telling a parent about work or assignments you've set to the class, remember that students have their own login, and instructions about the work to be completed is on their class page. Okay, you'll need to get their child to log into Gateway and check the class page. That's important. Please remember that, because the parents will not have access to your class page if you're in secondary. Okay, so class pages are just for the students. They need to get the students or their children to log in and have a look there. All right, the next one is primary and secondary if you're telling parent about work or assignments that you've set the class. Really important thing here, when you create an activity in Gateway and you tap the Due Work button, you need to keep in mind that that button is going to push dates and things out to the Due Work part within the app. So if you tapped onto My Students within the app, it would take you to their name. They'd tap their name, and then they would go into this screen you can see here with the learning, academic reports, due works, classes, and timetable. If your activity type is a due work type, it will appear there. So two things from that. You need to make sure that your dates are accurate. Okay, if your dates are not accurate, you are going to confuse parents. Remember, we want parents to be in here and looking at the app, so it is important that our dates are correct. If you don't want parents to see it, okay, and it's not something that requires students to submit something, then just use the task button. That's what you need to do. Okay, so just jump over to the task and create a task instead. However, if they do have to turn something in, by all means use the due work. Also keep in mind that when parents look at that date on the due work, if it does come through, it doesn't give the instructions, only the date and the title. Lastly, primary, if you want the parent to look at content, not just news, on the year level page, tap on the My Groups button. This is what you're telling them, so tap on the My Groups button to see all the groups you're a part of, and then you'll see your year level pages that you are a part of, as well as any other groups you've been attached to. Okay, so that's where they can find that content. Lastly, sorry, this is last, you can ask a question or find answers to the Gateway and GCC app related questions using the Ask and Tech Help for Teachers apps, buttons, that's on your dashboard on the right hand side near the bottom. Okay, so please feel free to ask some of those any questions through there. We've had a number come through and thankfully been able to help people, but please do take the time to check that out. The Tech Help for Teachers links off to the help, the Schoolbox help, as well as some other little videos. I'll put this video there as well, so that you can find it there. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.